Hello and welcome back to the Chattercade podcast, where I discuss media in the forms of reviews. I'm your host, Dragon Thomas Hughes, and today I'm actually doing a review on something I technically reviewed back in April, maybe May, when it kind of went back into cinema for like a very brief run. Obviously, I recorded it back then, but my OBS decided not to record any of the audio that I did, which obviously was I felt like it was like a 40-minute episode at the time, and obviously I got really pissed off, and I just didn't have the energy at the time to sit back down and re-record it. And I remember being okay, I'll just down the line. I know the new movie's coming out this year, so I'll just do it then. I'll talk about it then. I'll rewatch it again and just do it then. And that is obviously Demon Slayer: The Mugen Train arc, the movie. Obviously, it came out back in 2020 during obviously COVID, and it was one of the highest grossing movies of the year, if I remember correctly. Obviously, it served as half of the second series of Demon Slayer, because obviously the second half of it was then the Entertainment District, which was a full-on series. Obviously, because it being a much shorter one compared to the other seasons, obviously they went, okay, let's make a movie out of this. We can get a movie cranked out, and obviously then they eventually chopped it up into pieces, added some like new music and a couple of little extra tweaks to scenes, and brought it out as the actual series. So you can actually watch this on the Crunchyroll as either the full movie or the 7-episode series. Obviously, there's pros and cons to both, really. Obviously, the pro for the movie is it's the movie. You don't have to worry about intros and outros. You don't have to worry about it kind of stopping at the moment when it's getting really interesting. And obviously, just, you know, it's a fucking movie. You can just kick back, don't have to do anything. Whereas the pro with the TV show, obviously, you can breathe at times when you think, obviously, it's like something's really intense happening, and then it's like, that's it, next episode, and you're like, okay, I can breathe a moment. So you have the pro of being able to have a quick deep breath before the next big moment happens. Plus, on top of that, the series offers an extra episode. So the series is 7 episodes long, but only episode 2 to 7 is actually the movie arc. Episode 1 is a brand new episode focused on the Flame Hosho Rengoku, and it allows, it's obviously a prelude and a prequel, towards the main series, the rest of the series or movie, and obviously focus on him building up to the Mugen Train. You're getting a little bit of information of what's kind of going on in this area, and why he's there before you can actually watch the movie. And it's kind of an interesting thing. I rewatched the series adaptation of it recently, and I was watching it and I was like, okay, I love the first episode. It's a great episode, and you can easily either watch the rest of the series as it is, or just jump straight into the movie and just watch it as the movie format. Because obviously I was watching the whole series and I was like, as a series format, it just does not do this justice, particularly the final act of this movie. I'm fine with the series for the first so many episodes, because it's the more comedy side of it, because that's obviously how Demon Slayer always does it. Well, especially the season 2. The first like so many episodes of the series were more comedy aimed, just kind of goofing off. I mean, Entertainment District, the fact that the whole first bit was them trying to infiltrate these houses, but they obviously got to dress up as women to get in there. So obviously they add a lot of comedy in there. With this, it's all the dream sequences, kind of seeing like how the minds work. Obviously, yeah, you got the more serious dream sequence with obviously Rengoku and Tanjiro, but then you got the more goofy dream sequences with Inosuke and Zenitsu. Obviously, Inosuke being he's kind of trying to be like the leader of the group, trying to fight off this giant spider train, and then obviously Zenitsu, him trying to basically get off with Nezuko, and obviously it offers all that funniness, and you can kind of get away with the episodes for that. Okay, that's fine, it's not a problem. It's just when the actual action kicks in, especially the final battle between Rengoku and the upper rank demon, as something, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Obviously, when that kicks in, obviously I was watching, because it's episodes 6 and 7 that really happens, and I was watching it, and episode 6 ends on a cliffhanger, and you're like, okay, shit, that's really good. But then obviously you have to wait then for episode 7. Obviously, if they went for the weekly format of it, you'd be stuck waiting for that moment. But that's why I feel like it doesn't do it justice, because when the movie happens, obviously because it just flows straight into that 7th episode, it just works better for me. I just feel like the TV show format just doesn't do this final battle justice as the movie does. So I was kind of like, a thing I was watching, I was like, yeah, it is better as a movie than a TV show. But, I recommend your choice. If you want to watch it as the movie, go watch it as the movie. If you want to watch it as the TV show, go watch it as the TV show. If you want to do what I did when I showed the Hayden the first time, I went, okay, we'll put the first episode on, and that's it. And then we watch the movie straight afterwards. That's kind of how I approached it instead. But still, obviously, if you're looking at the movie, and, well, technically the TV show to an extent, because it is the same thing, they tweak a few things here and there, like some bits of music and some like slight changes to scenes. Because obviously you can now technically buy both the Mugen Train movie and the Mugen Train series, and on the back of the case it just say with new additional scenes for the show plus a bonus episode. So it's like, okay, clearly trying to get some more money. I mean, I haven't brought this series of it. I've got the movie on Blu-ray. I just don't have the series of it. I've got the Swordsmith Village now. I brought that recently for, it was like $13.99. It was on sale. And I do need to get the Entertainment District at some point. So I am trying to collect the Blu-rays one, because for some reason when I watch Crunchyroll on my Fire Stick, after a while it some reason goes fuzzy, and you kind of have to turn it off and turn it back on again for it to stop doing that. So I'm kind of trying to get my hands on the Blu-rays of Demon Slayer, like I did with Attack on Titan. So far, though, I've only got the movie of Mugen Train, and I've got the Swordsmith arc, so I do need to get the first series, Entertainment District, and whenever they bother releasing the Hoshra, because I haven't done that one yet, I'll need to get that one. So, it's just slowly getting there with it. But obviously, go back to this movie. Obviously, I saw this movie, when did I watch this? 2022, I think I watched this movie for the first time, which is when obviously I got into Demon Slayer. And don't get me wrong, love the first series of Demon Slayer. Obviously, I've rewatched it once or twice now, maybe twice actually now since I originally watched it, and I fell in love with it a lot more. But at the time, obviously, it was one of those ones where certain episodes stood out more than others, and that's fine, that's not a problem. But for me, the Mugen Train arc, the movie, when I watched that is what made me fall in love with Demon Slayer. It's what drew me in and made me go, okay, I'm giving this show another go. Though obviously I was still in the binge watch phase anyway, because at that point, I don't think the Entertainment District had started yet when I managed to get to this movie. It was probably just around the corner from starting, because I remember it being around the same time as Attack on Titan running. So I remember obviously watching one and then straight into the other, and I was like, okay, this is like fucking like such a great. I think it was Mondays they used to come out, and I was like, this is such a great Monday morning. I've got Attack on Titan, the final season, part 2 at the time, and then I've got obviously Demon Slayer, the Entertainment District. It's just like the perfect Monday morning, and nothing is like, it's a perfect double bill really. And obviously I've not had anything really like that since. And as I remember watching this movie and go, wow, this movie is fucking outstanding. It's so good. Obviously my only criticism really is the CGI they use for when the train obviously comes alive towards the end. That kind of irates me. It kind of reminded me of the Hawkeye CGI when obviously they shot the goo at the cars when they're driving. It kind of gave me that vibe, so it wasn't the best. I mean, Hayden, when we rewatched it in the cinema recently, so I was lucky enough when they put it back into cinema back. As I think it was April, I put it back in cinema. Was it May? It's been a couple of months now. I'd have to look back in my emails to find out when the ticket was. And so when we rewatched it then, she said, obviously, that scene looks a bit better. And I was like, I mean, I can't really tell. It looks the exact same to me. Might have actually improved, but my mindset's fully on, this is the weakest part of the movie. But it's not a complete hindrance that it completely ruins the whole movie, because I absolutely love it. As I say, this is what drew me into Demon Slayer. It's what made me love Demon Slayer, and is what has kept me around for the next, obviously, the Entertainment District. It's what kept me around for the Swordsmith arc. It's what kept me around for the Hoshra training arc, and obviously it's what's made me go and watch the exclusive looks when they put them in cinema. Obviously, when they put the first episode of Swordsmith, when they put the first episode of Hoshra, I was straight there at the best showing, obviously, I could get to of it, which I think both of them were Sunday showings, actually. Obviously, I was there for, I watched the Entertainment District / Swordsmith one in sub, because that's what I kind of wanted to watch, but I did watch the Swordsmith / Hoshra one in dub, which is obviously what Hayden and I was actually watching the entire show in, so we could actually understand what was going on, which kind of, it's kind of did put a downer on when I watched the the Swordsmith one in cinema, the first episode. I was like, okay, it's kind of annoying because every episode up to this point I've watched in dub, so going in straight into the sub is just like, I'm not used to the voices, that when it changes, I'm just like, it's kind of a bit shit, but I went with it because obviously we went as a group, so it was kind of the case of, we drew the short straw. Plus, I think at the time, technically, the Entertainment District one / Swordsmith had the better showing, so that's the reason we went for that one. Yeah, but still, obviously, that's what drew me there. It's what obviously is drawing me straight to watch the I forgot about the Infinite Castle Part 1. Obviously, when that comes out, because obviously that will be coming out around the point of this episode. Obviously, I won't be watching it the day it comes out. I'm watching it the day after, because the Friday showings for me are just, one's too early, one's too late. I need the one in the middle. And thankfully, on the Saturday when we're going to watch it, they don't have the early one. They had the late one, but they have one in the middle instead. And I'm thankfully going to go watch it on that for that time slot, which is like, I think, like 1ish in the afternoon, which is even better because obviously me being at work, it means I can get a couple of hours kip, get down there, have some lunch, and go watch it. And obviously, I said this movie is what's making me want to go watch, obviously, any of these when they come in cinema. As soon as they come in cinema, I want to watch them. As soon as the episodes come on Crunchyroll, I want to watch them. And this movie, for me, is the reason. It's got everything. It's got action. It's got comedy. It's got great visuals. Yes, it has that one shoddy visual, but overall, it has great visuals. It has great music. It's got great characters. This movie is why I absolutely love the character of Rengoku, who I managed to actually acquire as a little Lego figure, which is pretty fucking cool. I really do like that. And it's specifically the battle damage one. The image might be a bit blurred, actually, because my camera's not the best. But obviously, you can see the red on the eye if you're watching this on YouTube. And I do, if I remember correctly, if you can take his head off, it does have the normal face on the back. But obviously, I've gone for the battle damage one, because that's when he looks fucking badass, when he's pretty much fighting with one eye. And he's just come off his little stand. And obviously, he's like my favourite character, and it's a shame that this is all we got of him. I know he's a little bit in the new arc through flashback sequences, I believe, or like ghosty sequences. So it's been a few months since I read that arc in the manga. So it is a shame, but we do have my other favourite character, Inosuke, still in the show, which is great. But I say the Mugen Train is just what drew me in. There's just so much to love about it. And I say ever since then, it's what made me love Demon Slayer even more. If you can't see it obviously off my camera, I've got a lot of statues down currently, obviously where I'm recording. I've got a fuck ton of statues upstairs that I've acquired over the years. I've got some swords, obviously the wooden swords, obviously from conventions, which are pretty fucking cool. I do kind of want to get a Rengoku cosplay at some point. That would be fucking sick. And as I say, I've just got so. It's probably one of the only animes I've got so much merch on, because don't get me wrong, love Attack on Titan, so fucking good. But for me, I don't know, I'm starting to grow more with Demon Slayer, because obviously it also helps that I read the manga, because I acquired the manga last year, was it? Yes, last year. Last March, I brought the whole set. Took me a while before I started reading them, but when I kept reading them, I just couldn't put them down. I fucking bashed through them all, so obviously I know how the story ends. And I remember reading, obviously, the Mugen Train arc, and I was like, okay, it's pretty cool to read it. Obviously, some of the dialogue is a little bit different. It was like a tasty scene with Rengoku. It's not the same, because he's saying like, oh, what's he saying in the manga? It's like something like delicious. I'm just like, it doesn't hit as hard as him screaming tasty. But it's not something I'm going to completely complain about. But still, obviously, it's just such a great movie. And that's the whole reason I wanted to watch it in cinema, because obviously it came out during COVID. Obviously, I wasn't into Demon Slayer back then, so I didn't really have knowledge on it back then. So even if obviously I was into it, obviously I couldn't go to watch it at the time. I don't think did it even come out in the UK in cinema over here at that point, or if it did, it might have been such a small run. But obviously I just obviously when I obviously got the opportunity when they said, okay, we're putting it back in cinema for like, I think it was like a week. They put it back in like a couple of showings here and there, and I was like, okay, I need to watch this. I need to see it on the biggest screen possible, the biggest speakers possible, because my TV does not do it justice. And when I watched it in cinema again, it generally was just so amazing to watch. Like, again, the cinema screen just did it so much justice. The colors popped. The action sequences were incredible to watch, and the music was just booming. And that's what I think. This probably for me is my favorite arc. Don't get me wrong, love the Entertainment District, and to be fair, the Swordsmith District has grown on me a little bit, but I feel like for me, my favorite arc is the Mugen Train arc. It's more condensed. There's probably more consequences really than the next two arcs in terms of what happens to the Demon Slayer core. There's probably a lot more consequences, and it kind of this is a good way of showing that good isn't always going to prevail the way you want it to. It will to an extent, but there's always going to be consequences going forward. And obviously, to be fair, season 2 overall, including Entertainment District, did the exact same sort of thing, just not to the extent as the Mugen Train arc did. And I like that, because it's a good way of showing that good's not always going to win. Good's not always going to be the victor. Because obviously, season 1, pretty much every battle that went through, it was always they walked out on top, either because of their own skills or because of the Hoshira stepping in. And I like with this that it shows, even with a Hoshira around, you come up against an upper rank, you're going to be in trouble. And yeah, they could have easily had them completely, obviously have this battle with the upper rank and come out completely on top. But I kind of prefer them going for the route of partially on top. Yeah, they're happy. They can be happy with a lot of the outcome, but there's this one moment in the whole obviously battle which is gonna scar them. It's gonna show them that these demons aren't messing around. They are a threat. Yeah, this one who's on the train, he's dangerous, but you can stop him. One like this, you're gonna fucking struggle. If a Hoshira, one of the best Hoshiras, if I'm being honest, is gonna struggle, you're gonna struggle. So it's kind of the point of showing that these characters need to try and up their game if they really want to take down Muzan. And I like that. I really do like that. It's good storytelling. As I said, obviously, one of the reasons I absolutely love this movie is because of the character of Rengoku. I like the fact that they utilize his backstory, obviously him kind of being this, having to look out for his younger brother, especially after obviously his family kind of collapses. I like seeing that he kind of uses that with these young demon slayers. I like the fact that he kind of just like takes them under his wings. Like, okay, I can train you, I can make you stronger, I can make you better, I can keep you safe. I like that about his character, that they can show that he's has his very emotional side. He's not just he's straight up badass when it comes to combat. He obviously can have these emotional sides, and that's the good thing about the prequel episode in the actual series adaptation of it, because it gets to show how he, obviously, even under pressure, when the situation is very dire, he knows how to make the right call, which is shown with obviously when he finds a demon holding a human hostage. He knows when to kind of just assess the situation, talk to this demon before making his move. And when he does, he knows obviously the specific places he needs to strike to at least keep this person safe. And I say it allows obviously show, obviously, especially the prequel episode, it gets him to show obviously how quick he really is. I mean, he is obviously the demon in the prequel episode's very kind of like the Flash, speed off, but even though he's fast in his own right and probably one of the faster of the demons in terms of running ability, he can still be outpaced by Rengoku. He can still get there in like as quick as he could, and that's what I like about the character. He's got so many layers to him as a character, and I feel that's why I absolutely love him. I mean, that fucking hair is crazy as hell. I say I like early on with him when obviously you're seeing him kind of as this older brother bond with these other characters, and then I like as it goes on, you're seeing a bit more of his backstory. You're understanding why he's like he is, and then obviously it comes to that final battle where he fully steps up and goes into battle with the upper rank demon. And I like the fact that you get to see him kind of let them take charge, specifically with the two demons, the weaker demon. It's cool to see him allow them to take charge and say, okay, like this threat is big, but he trusts these two to do the job properly. The biggest thing that needs to happen here is the safety of the passengers, and obviously they can only keep so many safe, so he has to take charge in keeping the casualties down to minimum, but obviously at most 0. And that's what I like about him. Obviously, when he kind of does that, you kind of get to see his full potential in terms of defensive moves. And obviously you lead into this big battle. It's like, okay, you're all kind of damaged. This is my fight now. This is not a weak demon. This is an upper rank demon. I need to take charge here. I need to this battle. And obviously then he just goes to war with his upper free demon. And it's such an incredible battle. The visuals in the battle are incredible. The music in the battle is probably my favorite. I mean, I played the Hinokami Kagura game, the first one. I do need to play the second one at some point. I need to pick it up. But I played the first one. Obviously, the first one ends on the Mugen Train arc. And it kind of ends before the big battle. And I'm like, oh, it's a bit of a shame. And then out of nowhere, it cuts back into after the credits. And the battle happens. And the music's playing. And it was so cool to actually experience the battle for myself. And play as Rengoku in this really high-octane, adrenaline-pumping battle. And I really like that. And it's one of the reasons I actually really enjoyed that game in the end, was just because the ending of the game was just fucking amazing. And obviously seeing that as the film plays out, without you having to worry about dodge, attack, dodge, without having to worry about that and watching it in the film or the TV show, it's so good to watch. So the TV show doesn't do it justice because the break in between the final part of the battle, that kind of gets ruined by the episodic format. But watching it in the movie, when it flows through, it's just absolutely perfect, because you have this massive battle, great visuals, a lot of good character moments between Rengoku and the upper rank, as the upper rank's trying to convert Rengoku to his ranks, because he sees the potential in Rengoku. He sees that he is this monster of a demon slayer. He knows that he can join the demons and essentially make them unstoppable. And I like seeing that. I like seeing these constant conversations and seeing Rengoku consistently turn down and say, no, this isn't happening. I'm saving these people. I'm killing you. And that's the end of the deal. There's no deal between me and you. I say I really like seeing that, and seeing these moments when they're both striking and how both are very much the same, very even. Even though Rengoku's going with a blade and he's going with his fist, it kind of shows how powerful they are. And obviously there's some really pivotal moments in the battle, and then you have the final part of the battle where Rengoku goes full power, where the demon goes full power, and they both just obliterate in the middle. And it's just such a emotional, impactful moment of then seeing obviously Tanjiro and Inosuke witnessing all this and realizing that the stakes are at the point of now where we have to step in, because the entire time they're watching, because they just physically go, okay, we step into this fight, Rengoku's going to lose. He's fucked, because we won't be able to keep up. And I really do like that. I like the fact that they just know they aren't at their level. And to be fair, they get to the point where they realize that we're not up to that level, but we have no choice but to step in here. This is not going the way we want it to go. if we don't step in, then this fight is over, and it's game over entirely for everything, everyone in this situation. So I like then obviously they use the smartness of trying to get involved, but at that point it's just too late. It's the battle's already won in the eyes of the demon. Obviously, there's a lot more layers to it than just that. Obviously, especially when obviously Tanjiro gives his speech, it kind of puts the battle into a bit more perspective. Obviously, yes, to the demon, he sees the situation. It's kind of like, okay, it's a victory situation. But then when you kind of listen to Tanjiro's speech, you can go, okay, yes, it is. But at the same time, you've got to agree with this kid. He's in the right here, which is the whole reason he is the main character. He knows what he's doing. But still, say the whole battle overall is so good, and I say it ends with such an emotional moment, an emotional speech from not just Tanjiro, but obviously Rengoku, that just leaves you in such a state, basically. And I like that. I mean, the film has just got so many different emotions throughout it. So you've got emotions where the adrenaline's pumping from, I say, the action sequences during the end, the action sequences during the train when obviously the likes of Zenitsu and Nezuko are all fighting on this train, taking down all these tentacles to save the people. That's pretty cool. Obviously, you got the laughter during obviously the more comedic moments early on, and some of the comedic moments later on, but there's not as strong as the earlier ones. And I say then you got the more sadness of watching these characters give their all and not do what, obviously not be as victorious as they want to be. And it's just, there's so many emotions to this movie, and I think that's why it stands out for me. And say it's not just this action, it's got comedy, it's got heart, it's just, the visuals are stunning, the music is amazing, the characters are so great to watch. That's why I feel like this is such a complete movie. Yes, there's that bit of CGI which kind of irates me a little bit, but it's not something I'm going to hold it too much against it. It's just it's obviously stands out more because of the fact of the animation. It's obviously a different style of animation, so it kind of does. That's why it stands out a little bit. But as I say, I'm not going to completely go crazy over it. I'm just going to, brush it under the rug a little bit because the rest of the movie is just amazing, and I was so happy to be able to watch it in cinema. I mean, as I say, I've got the Blu-ray of it. I'd love to sit back through and watch the movie again without the problem of the breaks with the episodes. But I've just watched it in the TV format, so I'm not going to rewatch it just yet because I'm moving on to the next series because I'm trying to watch them all before the part one of the movie comes out. So I want to try and get done, so I can't have time to go back and rewatch the movie again, even though I fucking love it. And it's one of my favorite movies that when I finally watched it, it's one of my favorite movies that actually came out in 2020. Other than that, I can't really think of much else to say. It's an outstanding movie that made me fall in love with the Demon Slayer franchise, and with that, it makes my job easier to say Demon Slayer Mugen Train, the movie, is a solid 10 out of 10. It's outstanding, as I say, from its visuals, to its music, to its characters, to its story, and all that, plus these incredible action sequences just make it such a joy to watch. So, yeah, obviously, if you've seen Demon Slayer Mugen Train, either the movie or the TV version of it, put your thoughts in the comments below. If you're going to watch the new movie in cinema, or you already watched it by the time you watch this, put your thoughts of it in the comments below. And if you're going to watch it, put your thoughts on what you're looking forward to the most out of it. Obviously, if you have watched it, comment what you loved the most from watching it. Obviously, you can check out the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible, etc., etc. Trying to think what else I can say, really. Obviously, next week, I'm moving on to In the Spider's Web. I was planning to do it for this week's episode, but then I thought, no, I want to do the Demon Slayer one. Makes sense. The movie's out. May as well cover the only other movie they released of it in cinema, not counting the specials. So I thought, might as well just do it now and just delay In the Spider's Web by a week. And to be fair, I was looking at my scheduling then. because delaying it by the week, obviously giving you that 2-week gap between the Man-Eater series episodes, it has allowed me then in October to do 2 back-to-back weeks of Man-Eater movies. So, it's one of those ones where it swings and roundabouts. It's a con for this month, for the sense that you're not getting the fortnightly episodes of the movie series I'm covering, but then it's the pro for next month because you're getting it 2 weeks in a row before the optional episode comes into play. So it's one of those ones where it's, can be kind of worth it in the end. Obviously, I also forgot to say, you can check out the videos on YouTube. Obviously, I did cover the start of the Hinokami Chronicles, the first game, last year, so you can check it out. I'll link that in the description below. I also linked the episode where Hayden, Connor, and myself talked about Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, and My Hero Academia. I will link that in the comments below. And other than that, I can't really think of anything else to say, so I hope you've enjoyed the talk on Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train arc, well, the movie adaptation of the arc, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
If you like what you've seen, don't be afraid to throw us a little like and subscribe. That's always very appreciated over here. And, well, I'll see you on the next video.